Hey guys, in this video I'll be explaining my personal method for shield dashing and wing smash with the keyboard. Now, my keyboard is a SteelSeries XGV2. It's a mechanical keyboard using the black cherry switches. The keycaps themselves are quite large, quite deep. Let me actually show you one. So these are my keycaps. I can show you on this one as well. Now, they're fairly large and deep keys for a keyboard. I would say it works well for most video games, but not actually for SOTN, not the best at least, because if you know how the switches work, how the cherry switches, the actuation point is in the middle, around that part of the switch itself, and I'm used to bottoming out keys to the bottom. So that means that spamming is a little bit difficult, especially when you consider that they have no tactile feeling with these linear switches for when the switch actually triggers. And the switches like the blue ones, which have clicks in them, while you do have that tactile feeling of when the switch actually triggers, it actually has other problems with spamming them and double clicking and stuff like that. But anyway, this is my personal method. I would definitely say that I am not the best at all at shield dashing. My method is not the fastest, but it's fairly consistent, and it has got me decent times. It can be better. Some people probably do it better, but this is my personal way of doing it. Okay, so this is my consistent method of shield dashing, the one that I use most of the time. It gives me mobility, gives me decent speed. My shield dashing doesn't stutter a lot. There are not much stops in the movement, and I can turn around, slash, do fancy stuff and jumps like that. Anyway, so this is how it looks like, first of all. Okay, how I do it. I basically use the edge of my keyboard, this lower edge right here, with my thumb to align my hand so that it stays in relatively the same position. My middle finger and my index finger stay in this very specific position always, which is this position right here. So what this means is that my middle finger will press the O button, which is the shield for me, before my index finger goes down and presses the dash key. So I'm not actually doing this motion with my fingers at all. Although this is an option which can do a fairly consistent shield dash at a decent speed. This is also an option, but depending on your finger dexterity, it can cause a lot of fatigue. I do actually use this method very specifically when there's a shit ton of lag. For instance, after the Minotaur Werewolf fight, after you jump up to go to the next room to get the Power of Mist, I use this during the lag, because if I spam during the lag, it sometimes, I don't know, it sometimes has problems actually being fast. So I slow down my shield dash deliberately during the lag so that it's more consistent. With this method, this is basically the speed I go at. I should mention the motion of my hand comes from my wrist and a little bit from my elbow. It's not strenuous at all. I would say I can do it for a long amount of time without any pain, any strain, anything like that. It's a slight seesaw motion with my hand. It's a little bit like if you hold a pick and you play. It's a little bit different than that, but it uses a large portion of the arm. It's not only a sideways motion, it's not only a up and down motion, it's not only a elbow motion. It's a combined motion that takes ladder swing off of your hand. So I basically move my entire hand up and down to press the buttons, and my thumb stabilizes my entire hand. So as I said, this specific method of shield dashing allows me to turn around and slash. Let me equip a sword so I can show you this. I can turn around, slash, turn around, slash. It's very mobile because basically I have immediate access to all of my other abilities and all the other face buttons. At least with my setup with the layout of the keys. It's very consistent, I would say. One thing I should note, if I try to vibrate my hand as you would do with a lot of controller methods, because the keys have such a long travel distance from the beginning of the key, from the release position to when you bottom out the keys, it is problematic. Now, as I said, the actuation point of the switches is in the middle, but it's, at least for me, it's very difficult to just press the key to the actuation point and release it and do it again. Like this is, I can do it with a dash, like with just one button. But if you notice at my not at my camera, but at the input display, it sometimes misses. It's not a consistent smooth spam. For that I would need to bottom out the key, but that's obviously not as fast. If I try to vibrate my hand with both buttons, like using different methods, you can see that sometimes it's faster, sometimes it just doesn't work. Okay, another method that I've been trying to implement, but I still can't do it consistently, is doing it with two hands, using both of my middle fingers, or it doesn't actually matter which finger of both hands or a combination of I use. You can do a two-handed shield dashing motion, but as you can see, the problem is that while it has a very high max speed, it sometimes stutters. And obviously the other problem is that it's difficult to do complex motions, jumps, turnaround slashes and stuff like that. People would say I can use my pinky to do it, but I find it very difficult. I have theorized that it can be useful, like for very long locations, like before the Minotaur and Werewolf fight, but the problem is that every one of these stops and stutters loses a lot more time than you gain by having a higher max speed than just simply doing this, which is easier. It's lighter on your hand, doesn't have as much strain. Although, as you can see, I sometimes still have problems even with this easier method. A slower method of doing it is also viable. That one uses a little bit of finger motion. Actually, it seems like I'm not as used to it anymore, but yeah, that can be useful for like races if you want to be more consistent. One thing I should know, that even though I use my thumb to stabilize my entire hand so that it's the motion is as similar as possible, if sometimes like this happens in Alucard stutters and stuff like that, it's good idea to just do a few of the regular motion for a little bit of time to get going again, which is unfortunate and not fast, but that's how it goes. Okay, special case for shield dashing is this location right here. I developed this method actually very recently, like a week ago. For this location, I deliberately use a shield dashing method that makes sure that I travel the exact distance at the exact speed I want. Now, it's not super fast, but because of the consistency it gives me, it ends up being much more beneficial than just me spamming away. And it goes like this. Okay, let me just kill this guy. What this method does is I bottom out the... Whoa. Please. I bottom out the keys in a rhythm of shield dash, shield dash, shield dash, shield dash for four cycles. That gets me from the bottom of one of these staircases to the top of it without me hitting the monster that's waiting for me at the top. Not for this section, obviously. Okay. Method for a wall. Let's see if I'm missing something. Okay, wing smashing. Let's talk about wing smashing with the keyboard. Now, with the bat, it's a little bit different because the active hand is not the left one but the right one. That's the important part. Now, the wing smash motion, which everyone knows, is going from what's it? 3/4 circle from up to the direction you want, from backwards, like this. Okay, what's the deal with keyboard though is that you really need to make sure that the game recognizes your diagonal inputs. Okay, so what that means is that instead of just doing like well, it worked this time because I'm so used to the motion, but instead of just doing it as fast as you possibly can normally, you need to really make sure that you press, okay, let's say I want to wing smash now to the left. You need to press W. Okay, let's actually I need to press jump first, obviously. W, D, let go of W, S, let go of the A, let go of S, W. Well, that's if I want to go up actually. So W, D, S, A, and I let go of jump. Whoops, what am I doing? There we go. Not sure what that was. So basically the letting go of buttons, you need to treat it as a separate input. That is just as important as pressing a button. That's basically what it comes down to. And obviously, what we can use to our advantage with the wing smashing is that you can press up or down if you want to go up or down before you finish the input. And that can be very useful in places where you need to chain upward wing smashes, because coincidentally the first input of a wing smash is up. So what can happen is something like this. So I wing smashed up without letting go of up, then I press jump and executed the motion again. As you can see, if I just fly up with the bat, it works as well. Because after I press the jump key, the input reader registers inputs like as if they're new ones, because it stops the bat in place. Obviously you can combine inputs with down as well. What this does is basically the same thing as if you press it after you wing smash, except it makes sure that you go up or down as soon as you possibly can. That's gonna be it. That's how I use my keyboard for Castlevania Symphony of the Night. My methods are definitely not the best, but they're kind of consistent. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys how I do it. GG.